It is Foot Trading's first birthday in March, and as our way of saying thank you to the insane support we've had for the last year, we are giving away your choice of an Xbox Series S or a PlayStation 5 digital to one lucky site subscriber. All you've got to do is be subscribed on the 31st of March in order to be entered automatically. Now, as a reminder, Tier 1 costs £10 a month, and that gives you access to buying and selling prices for special cards, for icons, for silvers, and for Thursday flips. So much stuff on the website, I'm forgetting what we do. And Tier 2 includes live filters, UCL cards, gold chem styles, and fluctuations, with more to be added in the coming days and weeks. There are multiple updates every day on the site, allowing you to trade 24 hours a day, no matter what time zone you are. Don't forget, if you do subscribe to the website, make sure you join the Discord. There are thousands of people in there helping each other to trade and make the most of it. We've got mods, you've got Dan and I, you've got trusted traders, all the stuff you could possibly want to make millions of coins on this game without having to spend any of your money on FIFA points. So good luck to everyone that enters, and once again, thank you very much for the amazing support we've had. You guys allow us to do this full time. We're extremely thankful, and we never lose sight of that. But for now, let's get into the video. Yo, what is up guys? Welcome back to a new video with me, Fuzzball40. As always, if you're new around here, make sure you subscribe down below. We're on the road to 25,000 subs. I really want to make it happen this month. So if you want to learn how to trade, if you want to learn how to grind the game so you haven't got to spend money on FIFA points, this is the place to do it. But thank you to everyone that has shown the insane support with subbing, commenting, liking, like even just DMing me on Twitter and whatnot. It does mean a lot to me, so thank you very, very much for that. You get 3 videos down this channel. The morning is League SBC Method to Glory. We're currently crafting Michael Ballack's Prime Moments cards on that, and we're 2 squads away, hoping to get him in the team. He looks a very, very, very good card. Everyone says he's brilliant value in terms of crafting him, so I'm excited to get that done. The evening video is always a trading video. At the moment, running a series where we're on my brother's account, trading for him to build him basically a much better squad than he's got, and showing you guys how much you can do if you want to grind it hard enough in a week. Those of you on website, it's me showing you really what I do with the website and grinding it out. For those of you without the website, me showing you guys how you can use Footwiz and Footbin. It may be slower, but it's still possible to do similar sort of things. And the midnight content is a mixture of picks, packs, upgrades, whatever that is you guys want to see. And it's likely this video will go live at midnight because I keep being asked the same question, and it's how do I trade in a market crash? Now, I don't like the term market crash. Market crash is not a thing. It's genuinely not a thing. The market dips and climbs at different periods based upon whatever happens based on the game. So it may be an SBC, it may be pack supply, it may be whatever it is. The use of the word market crash is something that I never like. The market does always bounce back. Will it always bounce back to the level it was at? No. But when the market does dip, that's usually quite a good time to buy in. You always buy it at the low and sell at the high. It's obvious for that reason. But you can monitor the market relatively well and see what cards were at and what they weren't at by just looking at the cards themselves and saying, well, that looks cheap, or by looking at what is going on with Footbin. Footbin's a great tool to do this with. So what I've gone and done tonight is I've spent about, I think, 4 million coins. I don't know exactly how many I have on some players that dipped tonight. Now I'm going to explain why the market dipped. I'm going to explain how I know about these. Some of these players I just trade with and I know them. But I'm going to show you some tools you guys can use in market dips. Now, the reason the market took quite a dip tonight was that we got the Party Bag SBC. And there was just a degree of panic in the market. People were selling off. I think people have been holding with bits and bobs because they were assuming there was a promo coming tonight. No promo came. But we did get the Party Bag SBC. So some of those cards took a dip. And when they dip, other cards dip. And the market tends to follow itself down and up again. Now, that doesn't work for every card. But people tend to panic sell when there's either a promo, when there's an expected promo and none comes, when there's a Party Bag SBC, when icons come onto the game. And it's when you can do well. So that's the first point to make. A market dip's quite obvious. You can see it in the cards you've got in your team. They dip. You can see it in cards that other people have got. They dip. And it keeps happening. But Footbin will give you that. I'll show you that in a minute on Footbin. It will give you a very good indicator, a very good tool to use. So I've gone and bought some cards in the dip. I'm going to show you the cards we bought and what we paid for them. And I'm going to show you what they've been selling for as much as I possibly can. So we'll start off by looking at Kante. And this is a shout out to Dan, to be fair. This is Dan's area of the market. And he sort of was on stream saying Kante looks a little low. So I had a look, and I picked him up at 310, between 305 and I think 317 we picked him up for. Is there one more here? There is. One at 312. So he got as low as 305. I would have bought more, but someone on the stream decided to jump onto him as I bought him. And now the cheapest one you can see there is 336, 349, 339, and he's back up again towards the 360s. Now, I know Kante, I trade with him, and he's a very, very sort of meta card. People love using Kante. A lot of people that can't afford his What If, but want better than his gold card, are going to use this card because it's the one in between them. But again, I'll show you in a second why I bought him and give you an idea of what you can be doing to look at. Marquinhos, one of my favourite cards in this game to trade with. Again, I paid 140 for him. He's still in a bit of a dip at the moment. He's not quite made it up yet to where I'd be happy with him. If we do see any more at this price, though, I will be picking him up. No, he is starting to arrive now. We picked him up at 140 there and 139 there. Again, I'll explain why in a minute. Vardy, 122 and 125. My brother just picked one up on bid for 100. But again, he took a nice dip early on. But I'm keeping an eye on him because even now, although he's rising, he's not rising like super quick. And so there's definitely opportunity there for me to buy some more if we see him. Yed did the same. 130 we picked him up for. I think he's currently sitting about 140 when I last checked. 149, 145, 140 there. So it was 134 there. I'm tempted by that, but we'll let that one go. Not enough profit there for me to be too happy with it. 130 Zaha's. 114, 120. Again, compare price on him. At the moment, he is at... There's a 128 there. Any near 120 we would purchase him as well. What was that? 131. There's 122. I'm going to buy the 122 as well. I might want to buy him. Again, Zaha's one of my favourite cards to trade with. I love this card to trade with. We'll pop him up there. Let's deal with these guys in a minute. That's fine. And then finally, I know it's a bit long for you guys, but I want to set the scene for you before I do what I've got to do. And then these Zaha's, you guys have seen me buy them a million one time before. Between like 79 and 82 on them, I always sell them for 90k. 80k even. No, 90k. So anyway, they're the cards we picked up. Let's head over to Futbin, look at their graphs, and I'll show you some awesome tools you can use, especially in a market crash, which will cover you off relatively well in terms of what cards will drop to and what you can buy them at and what you can sell them at. I'll be right back. Alright guys, so here we are on Futbin, and it's a brilliant tool if you learn how to use it. If you learn how to navigate Futbin and how you can make some coins from it and how you can best utilise it, Futbin's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. Now, we do a lot of what we do on the site a lot quicker than Futbin. There's no point me lying about that. What we do is better. But Futbin's brilliant for people, without being blunt, that don't want to pay for trading tips. And the guys that we do and the buying and selling prices, or can't afford to. And it's a brilliant tool. I always want to give you guys the alternative to what we offer. It's important to me that people know there is an alternative out there if you want to use it. The starting place on Futbin should always be here. Your market tracker. So up the top here, you can't really see it on that bit, but market tracker here. This gives you an idea of what the whole market's doing, and you haven't got to dive around everywhere. The only two that I tend to really use are specials and icons. They're the two I use. Index special during a market crash is an absolutely brilliant place to look. The reason for that is what it does is give you guys a rough idea of what cards are down to and how much they've dropped by. And you can see if there's a uniform drop amongst the whole market or if it's just amongst a few players. But it gives you a starting place of where you can start buying players. So, for example, Wilfried Zaha. There's Wilfried Zaha's here at 77k according to Futbin. Now I'll just check on my game and see if there is any at that price because I know it's a good buy. And so I'll show you for Zaha now and the reason why we decipher whether Zaha's a good buy or not. So I'll just go to Zaha. I can then go check him on Goal Team of the Week on the game. Go to 80k on him. And I'll search. And there's none at 77 now. In fact, there's none at anything less than 84,500 than him on the market. Let me just show you that. So we can show you that scene. There it is. 84,500. So slightly out of time, but that was updated 29 minutes ago anyway. So that's all well and good. So anyway, so I get my idea of Zaha, and I see he's down that much. I'm like, wow, it's a lot. He's down a lot. Let's have a little look at what his graph's done. So we start off at his graph, and we say today, where has he been all day? 90k. Well, he's been 90k. And only in the last sort of hour or whatever, in the build-up to this so-called promo people thought were coming, did he dip off. He dipped then. Yesterday, I look at him and go, okay, he was down as low as 75 at points last night, but then obviously started to climb into weekend league buy-in up to 92, which is where he's going to be. So now I've got two important pieces of data. I know that he dropped earlier in the week, and he was as low as 75 yesterday, so I know next weekend league, there's a chance he does very similar. I also know what he's been doing for the last 24 hours. And then the most important tool here, market sales history. We go and look at it and we say, what's he been selling for? So we look, and he's selling comfortably in the 80s. He had an 87,000 coin sale at 7:30 p.m. Go down here and look at 84,000, 87,000, 88,000. Overnight last night, well, no, like this afternoon, 94,000, 90,000. So we know he's been selling consistently in the 90,000s. So right now he's affected by that market dip. But that market dip will end. It's going to end at some point, and we bought close to as low as he's been in the last 24, 48 hours. So now what we do is factor in what day of the week is it and what we're looking at here. So Zaha, it is weekend league. He's got 5-star skills. People will be buying their teams. We all know by now that the market rises into weekend league. So we can be relatively confident in our buy of Zaha that we're going to make profit on him. And we've got a rough idea of what to sell him for. the late 80s, early 90s, we'll see him sell. Now, would he sell straight away overnight? Not necessarily, but within the next 24-hour period, I'll be able to get that for him. So that's where I look at the market, and as you do this, you will build up knowledge of these players that you specifically trade with. And you go, okay, cool, these are players that I like, and you start to know their trends. I know it, for example, if I show you his 86 card, I love his 86 card, one of my favourite cards to trade with. And again, Footbin's always a bit outdated on this pricing, so be careful of it. But again, I can look at his 86 then, and I can go, well, I'm picking up his 85, I can save myself some time, and what's he been at today? So again, this morning down at 122, but consistently been in around 130 to 140 before this big, massive dip here with the promo. It's a market dip, again, we're calling it crash for the sake of you guys liking it to be called crash, but big dip here. Yesterday, 110 at points, how low he is there. But then into Weekend League, that climb happens, that happens into Weekend League. So I know roughly where it gets down to and where it can get up to. Now remember, these are average prices. They don't always sell for that price, sometimes a bit more, sometimes a bit less. But we know that's roughly where he's at. And again, we back ourselves up by looking at market sales history, and we see he's been selling today at like 124s, this evening 130s, 130, 125s. Got as low as 110 earlier on, the cheapest one you saw there. And we look at him overnight, and then we look at the earlier purchases, 140s, 136, 138, two 150s over there. Keep going down again, we look at last night, we want to get towards last night's buys and say, where was he last night? This morning, 138, 140, 142, 142 again, 148 there. So last night, overnight again, got some real lows there last night, like 101s on bids, which are brilliant. Never forget bids, by the way. Again, my brother just picked up Vardy on bid for 100. But again, 140 buys. We know we're quite safe. At 120 and below, we're relatively safe. And that's us knowing now that he is dipping because the rest of the market's dipping with him. Because then we can compare it to Marquinhos. And we can say, okay, cool, what's he done for the last hour? Or for the last day? And again, very similar trend. 152 comes down by about 15,000 coins on PlayStation and about 10,000 on Xbox. So he's in a dip. So we know the market is in a dip. But will it remain in a dip? Probably not. Almost certainly not. Weekend League is coming. And then again, we go and look at Marquinhos' market sales history and we get an idea of where we want to buy him. 147, one's just sold for recently. But earlier today, 146, 145, 137, a bid on 128 there. But at 552, one sold for 159 and one sold for 155. Between 5 PM. 156 sell today, 158 sell today. And so we know we're safe. 140s, we know we're safe. He's selling for 168. He's, look, overnight last night. This morning, in fact. 166 and 167. So will I sell all these cards overnight? No, I won't sell them all overnight. But what I will do is list them at the price that I think is fair, what I think I can make profit from, and we'll go from there. The last card I want to show you is Kante. He's a bigger play, a much bigger play than your average play. But I know Kante, we do with him with flips a lot of time. He's a very, very good card. Again, for him, he's got the same trend as everyone else down. We look at market sales history, and we see that at points today, he's been 320, 317, these are the ones we picked up. But already, for my 317 pickups we picked up here, he's already back at selling again at 338, 340, 349. Because the bounce back has happened. He's sold at 360 at 444, a 354, a 360. So again, we know when we're buying at that, we've got to allow for tax off the 360 is 18k down. So that's 342 we get back after doing it. So that 305, like 305,000 coin pickup I've got, I'm looking at something in the region of about, give or take, 35 to 40,000 coins profit from. Just from that one card. Now that is a big spend on a card, but a 10% return on something that took me 5 seconds to do, I'm more than happy with that. So you've seen how we work it out. You've seen how you can check if the market's dipping. It's very easy as well. Look at your own club. Look at your own players, see what they're selling for and see how they come up and down. It's a really easy way to see how the market's reacting and how the market's doing. So keep an eye on that sort of stuff, and that's where you want to be looking. But I'm going to go away now. You've seen what these cards have been bought for. We're going to go away and sell them. I'll be right back. Alright guys, it's the next morning and I'm thoroughly pleased with how things went because I went heavy overlisting on some of these cards. The Kantes we got sold up till 365, the other two didn't sell, which is fine. Throughout the day today we will have something else that sells. Throughout the day today we will relist these and they'll go. Both Vardys went, a Yedda went, we've got another Yedda here at 146, which we'll be relisting as the day goes on. I think one of the Zaha's just sold. Yeah, see, this is what I don't... Something fishy is going on in the market now. This is exactly what I'm saying to people. Why has the 89 for Striker and the Chemstar in it not sold? I get this is centre mid one, but I'm on my brother's account with his account and looking at that. And he's had Striker Hunters that I've just listed at 88. I put two up at 88, one up at 88, one up at 885. They've not sold, but that one has. It's very, very bizarre the market at the moment, but either way, it's good. It's really good overnight sales, very good profit. And these guys here will still be profit, just slightly less, but I went heavy on the overlisting. But I do want to show you what I mean in terms of the other cards, the cards that are in the party bag and how they did last night, so you guys get an idea. So if you go over to the desktop. So this is Florian Neuhaus. He was obviously one of the cards you could pack yesterday. And if we look yesterday, this is 5 o'clock, 6 PM comes and he hits a dip. Now, he rose gradually throughout the evening, a little dip there and climbed. And then today, this is what he's done. So he's leveled out on PlayStation, he's got up to his high on PlayStation and leveled out pretty much. On Xbox, he was still holding low, and now, bit by bit, he's starting to really bounce and climb up. And that is exactly how the market works. And this is why I don't like it when people say there's a market crash. When it dips heavily, or when it crashes, as people call it, it will always bounce back. Now, it doesn't always necessarily bounce back to where it was before, but by everyone joining the panic, firstly, it makes money for traders like me, because we're like, well, that's too low, we'll buy that. But also, you lose out on coins, because if you go and sell your Neuhaus yesterday at 112 in that panic, well, now today he's at 134, you've lost out on a huge amount of coins. And if you did that across 3 or 4 players in your team, it becomes difficult. And I see a lot of you say this, oh, in the market crash, I lost 100k and I sold my players. And I'm like, well, why did you sell your players? Oh, because they were crashing. Well, no, they'll bounce back. You need to not sell, you need to not panic and join that panic. It makes it worse. Thorgan Hazard, again, yesterday, he sort of saw a little bit of a dip there at 6 PM, sort of bounced back. And again, because these players have got quite established price, these prices aren't going to go massively up. So he's on average about 11k up by the time it came round yesterday. Saw it this morning, high 119. And he's sort of back now at his 110s in and around that. Now remember, for him, this is an average price. And again, it says here that it is 108, but he's not. He is higher now. He's 116 now. So he got back to roughly where he should be. In fact, it's a little bit higher because of Weekend League. And that's how it tends to be. And it does that across the card. So you've got multiple facets here. If you know the other side of the market, like your Team of the Weeks, that's always a really safe place to buy. These cards, it always comes down to how much of those cards were supplied in those packs. For example, if Hazard was hit quite often, it might hit him a little bit more. But it's very hard to lose coins when a market dips like that. Even if you have to hold for a couple of days, you tend to do very, very well from it. And especially on like a Friday. When it happens on a Friday or a party back happens on a Thursday, there's always going to be a buy-in for Weekend League. And these cards will dip off and they'll climb back. The question mark is always, where's the buy point? And as a rough estimate, 7, 8 PM at night is when the market tends to be at its lowest. But that isn't always the case. I bought Renato Sanchez at that time, and they haven't gone as well. I've made profit off of them, but not enough to make it worth on my brother's account really that hold overnight. I could have gone somewhere else and made more coins. But that's basically how you trade when a market crash. And again, throughout the day today, these cards will bit by bit be listed. And are they all going to sell for massive profit? No, some of them will take 2 or 3k on at the end of it all. But when you're looking at Kantes and picking up 20, 30, 40k off Kantes, off of Vardy's picking up 10k a card, my brother, like I say, bought one for 100k, sold it at 140. It's a massive amount of profit. Yedas and Zahars at 5k each. It's fine. Across 30 cards, if your average profit, I've still got the rest of these guys over here to sell. Got Marquinhos that I'm waiting for him to rise on. When you're looking at across your cards and making an average of 10k, right? If you bought 30 of those cards, if you've got a higher budget, you've made 300,000 coins overnight for nothing, for literally no work whatsoever. And at a lower budget, if you've got 500k and you go out and buy 10 cards, you make 5 to 7k per card. Overnight, again, for nothing, you've made 50, 70,000 coins profit. You do that across a couple of times with a dip in the week of the market, it's a good amount of coins you're making. That's 500,000 coins a month. And these dips don't just happen when we have SBCs and stuff like that. They will happen with things like rewards and with any sort of random supply like, I don't know, promo packs in store. These sort of dips can happen, and it works for gold cards, it works for special cards, it works for icons. When an icon SBC comes out, sometimes you see the icons that are either in the SBC themselves get hit, or just panic of them and they drop off. So you really can spread this across multiple different card types, and it's really effective. But there you've seen it in action, guys. That is how to trade in a market crash. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, if you're new around here, make sure you subscribe down below and turn your notifications on so you never miss an upload. But for now, I'm out. Peace out. I'll speak to you soon.